It sounds like someone is perhaps not muted. Let me just take a look. All right, I think I got everybody now. And just, it looks like there may be one microphone that's not muted. I am not sure. Just double check that you are, please. And we will get started. Okay. So close your eyes and sit well. So a little bit away from the back of your chair. See if you can find that neutral spine where you feel the natural curves of your spine, your low back curving in, middle and upper back, maybe just a slight curve back behind you, and then the curve of your neck. And remember that those curves in your spine are there to support the structures of your body and to act as a spring, a shock absorber. So we want to try to maintain the natural curvature of our spine as much as possible. And sometimes those curves can get either exaggerated or pulled out as we age. So you want to try to pay attention to that. So sitting well, neutral spine. Begin to breathe as if you are filling up a pitcher of water. So imagining that you could fill up the bottom of the lungs first, and then the middle area around the ribs, and then all the way up into the upper chest. Just imagine that filling from bottom to top. And then imagine emptying from top to bottom so that the last thing is the belly muscles gently pulling in to help the expelling of air. So breathing in from bottom to top, breathing out top to bottom. This is opposite the actual pathway of air, right? We can't actually do this, but in our imaginations, we can. And by manipulating the muscles that steer shape change in our breathing apparatus, we can feel that that might be happening, even if it isn't happening in reality. Do that one more time, filling up low abdomen, middle of the ribs, up into the upper chest. And imagine emptying chest and rib cage and then the belly. And now we're going to reverse that. So now imagine that you're filling from the top to the bottom. So as you breathe in, filling up through the chest and then down into the middle ribs, down into your belly. And then emptying out from belly to ribs to chest. Filling up top to bottom, emptying out bottom to top. Try that one more time. And then let that go and just breathe normally, naturally. Keep your eyes closed and ask yourself which pattern felt more familiar, more comfortable, easier perhaps to access. There's no right or wrong answer here. It's simply a matter of noticing habit and pattern. And go ahead and float your eyes open. We're going to begin today with what I call the eye clock. So you're not going to be actually able to see from the distance I'm at the camera my eyes, but we're going to move our eyes, keeping the head still without moving the head or the neck, keeping the head in a neutral position. Your jaw is more or less parallel to the ground. Draw your eyes up as if you're looking at 12 o'clock on a clock, so up towards the ceiling. And then look over to 3 o'clock. Look down to 6 o'clock. Look over to 9 o'clock and back to center. Nothing else moves. Your head stays still. It's just your eyes that are moving. Once again, look up, this time over to 9 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, over to 3 o'clock, and back to center. Now, eyes up to 12. We're going to go bit by bit this time. 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4, 5, 6. Now you're gazing straight down to the ground. Over to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and back to 12. Look center, blink your eyes a few times. I'm going to go the other direction now. Look up, over to 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6 o'clock, straight down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 o'clock, back to 12 o'clock, and back to center. Blink your eyes a few times, and then give your head a roll around. Just circle the neck. Go the other direction. And right back up to center. Take a look over your right shoulder. And then very gently, without forcing, draw back on your left shoulder. Come back to center. Other side, look left. Gently draw back on the right shoulder. And back to center. Tip your chin up towards the ceiling. And then tip your chin down towards your collarbones. Back to center. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder. As much as possible, relax both shoulders down. You don't have to force them down, just don't hunch them up, that's all. Let them fall naturally. Back to center. Drop left ear to left shoulder. And again, just make sure you're not hunching the shoulders up and you're just letting gravity do its thing. Relax them down. And back to center. Look to the right, and this time drop your chin towards your collarbone. Back up to center. Look left. Drop your chin. And back to center. Shrug your shoulders up by your ears now. And then release them down. Do it again. Shrug them up and release. And now one at a time, roll your shoulders back. Just alternating sides. And then go forward. And then we're going to make the movement a little bit bigger. So pick up your elbows and swim your arms back. Swim them forward. Relax, rest your hands for a moment, take a breath. Let it go. And then the biggest movement yet, the full arm, all the way back. And then all the way forward. And rest your arms. Make fists. Start to roll your wrists around. Circle around. Go the other direction. Make sure you really feel the forearms as you're moving your wrists. Good, then open your hands. Do the same thing with fingers open. Roll the wrist joints around. Go the other way. Good, rest your hands on your lap. Scoot forward a little bit on your chair. And then as if your spine were a straight stick, don't move it. You're gonna stir it around your pelvis like you're holding a butter churn and you're stirring it around. So stick straight spine. You're just moving it around in a circle on top of your hips. Go the other way. Like you're really stiff. Okay, come back to center. Now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to move the spine. So you might think of it as moving the rib cage. That might help you find more spinal movement. So for example, if you think about moving the ribs to the right and then moving the rib cage forward and then to the left and then back behind you. So now you're stirring around your hips, but your whole spine is moving. It's much snakier. A more fluid movement. Your shoulders might follow. You want to get the movement traveling all up and down your spine. Go the other direction. Make it as snaky and as fluid as you can. And then come back to center. Now we're going to do that same kind of action, but we're going to initiate from the pelvis. So from down lower. It's going to feel, maybe look much the same as what you just did. It's just a matter of imagining the movement initiating from the bottom. So think about tucking your tailbone forward towards your knees, right? So that's going to round your low back behind you. And then shifting one hip to one side. And then tip your pelvis forward, like you're sticking your tushy out behind you, and then the other hip. So you're stirring around now, and it's the pelvis that's initiating the movement, right? You're rocking it forward and back and side to side. Imagine that you're doing the hula hoop. Might have been a while since any of you have actually done the hula hoop. You can practice it now. Go the other direction. You know, you didn't think twice about that when you were a kid, but it's actually really hard. I was doing that recently with a child, and they were much better at it than I. Okay, come back to center. Take a deep breath. Let it go. All right, hold the sides of the chair for support. Take one leg out in front of you and then start to roll the ankle around. So you can do this with your heel on the ground if you need to, or just lift your foot off the ground a little bit so you can roll it around. Go the other direction. And other side. I've got all kinds of popping and crackling going on. Maybe you do too. Go the other way. Okay, and let that go. Now back up to the neck. Drop your right ear to your right shoulder and add your right hand to cup your left ear. And then let gravity do its thing. So just let the arm get heavy. Without pulling on your head, the weight of the arm should be enough to give you a pretty good stretch on the side of the neck there. Take a couple more breaths. If you like, you could reach your left hand down towards the ground. That's going to intensify the sensation a bit. And then to come out of this, push into your hand. So provide a little resistance as you come back up. It makes it a little more comfortable to come out of this once you've been in the stretch for that long. All right, other side. Drop your ear over, add your left hand to cup your right ear. Let the weight of the arm create the stretch. I'm just going to stay and breathe. Letting the opening happen with time. If you want, you could add your right arm, reach it down to the ground. You don't have to do that. You can leave your hand on your thigh. And again, push into your hand and push your hand into your head. A little resistance to come out of it. And then release and shrug your shoulders up and down a couple of times. Turn your head to the right. Drop your chin towards your collarbone. And then cup your right hand to the back of your skull. So you're reaching up and over and you're grabbing the occipital ridge right at the bottom of the skull where it meets the top of the neck, and gently pull forward and down. Breathe. You might feel this all the way down into the left shoulder blade area. And then resist into your hand a bit to come out of it and turn back to center. Okay, now turn to the left, tip your chin, left hand reaches over to the occiput, and a gentle lift up, forward, and then down. Breathe into your upper back. And then resist into your hand, press your hand into your head, come back up, turn center, let it go, roll your shoulders back a few times, roll them forward, shrug them up and down, and relax. Take a deep breath. Release. Right hand out in front of you, pull your fingertips up to the ceiling, grab your fingertips with your left hand and gently pull back. So you're stretching out the palm, the wrist, and the forearm. Now turn your fingers down and gently pull back on the hand so that you're stretching out the top of the wrist and the top of the forearm. Other side. Left hand forward, pull the fingers back. Turn the hand down, press down. Good, let it go, give it a little shake. Arms out in front of you, cross the right arm over the left arm. And then you can either stay in this sort of half eagle wrap. You could put your hands on your shoulders, or you could wrap all the way up with the palms facing each other. Any one of those options is totally fine. I'm going to show the option with my hands on my shoulders. So I'm crossed at the elbows, and then I'm going to circle my elbows around. So it's actually my shoulders that are really creating the movement. And I'm going to go the other direction now. Come right back to center. Point your elbows straight out in front of you. If you're in the full wrap, lift your arms up so that your elbows come up in front of your face. If you're in the shoulder grabbing version, lift your elbows up in front of your face. And then let that go. Give it a little wiggle. Take a breath. Let it go. Arms out in front of you. Left arm crosses over right. And again, you can take this half eagle wrap. You can grab the shoulders, or you can wrap it all the way up. So this time I'm going to show it with the full wrap. Circle around. Go the other direction. And then lift your elbows up in front of your face. Keep breathing. And let it go. Roll your shoulders a couple of times. Take a breath. And release. Reach your right arm straight up to the ceiling. Press up through your fingertips. Imagine that you're lengthening from the fingertips all the way down to your hip, just getting really long on the right side of the body. Now bend your elbow, reach your hand back to the base of your neck or maybe down to your shoulder blade. Try not to jut your ribs forward, but instead gently pull them in so you're sitting straight without a big dip in your low back. Release that arm. Same thing, other side. Reach it up and first find that long extended line from fingertips down to your hip. The whole left side of the waist getting really long. You're trying to draw your upper arm back by your ear if possible. If not possible, just do your best. Bend your elbow, drop your hand back. Keep reaching the elbow up. These muscles along the back of the upper arm and also down the side body here, so the lats across your back, they get very tight. And that tends to inhibit our ability to move at the shoulders. So we want to keep that mobile. All right, let it go. Now, both arms up. Reach up, lengthen. Try to get the upper arms by the ears as best you can. Lengthen up. You want to stretch the sides of the waist and the back area. Now, prayer your hands. Drop that prayer back behind your head. Tip your head into your forearms so that you're lifting the elbows up towards the ceiling. Now, I know your elbows might be going out left and right. As best you can, try to bring them together and up so that, again, you're stretching out the sides and the lats, the latissimus dorsi. And let it go. Take a breath. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Interlace your hands behind your head. So you're cupping the back of your skull now. Reach your elbows back, reach your shoulders back, tip your head back into your hands, lift your chest up towards the ceiling. So it's a little back bend and a big stretch for the chest muscles. Come back up to sit tall, keep the hands where they are, draw your elbows together, and then tip back again. So reaching your head back into your hands, pull your belly muscles in a little to support this. Point your elbows towards the ceiling. Come back to neutral. Take a breath. Draw your elbows together again, or towards each other, I should say. Lift the back of your head so your chin is tipping towards your collarbones. And then round forward slightly. So less about the whole spine and think more about stretching out the middle and upper back. Come back up. Relax your arms for a moment. Take a breath. Once again, interlace your hands behind your head. Lean back into your hands, open up the chest. Come back up, draw your elbows towards each other, tip your chin round, and this time if you want, you can round even further. Draw your belly in, tuck your tailbone towards your knees, and curl. So it's really deep flexion now. Don't pull too hard on your head though. Be mindful of how it feels. And come back up, release your hands, rest for a moment. See if you can find neutral. Sweep both arms out and all the way up overhead. Bring your hands down through heart center as you breathe out. Again, inhale, sweeping out and up. Exhale down through the center. One more time, sweeping out and up. Breathe in. Breathe out, down through center. Bring your right hand down to the chair. Left arm sweeps up and side bend to the right. Nice deep breaths. And come back up. Left hand holds the chair. Right arm sweeps up, side bend to the left. And come back up. Breathe in, lift both arms all the way up overhead. Take a twist to your right, let your hands come down. One hand to the back of the chair somewhere and the other hand outside your right knee. Turn either to look the same direction that your breastbone is facing, or maybe turn to look past your right shoulder. Keep breathing. Float your way back to center. Breathe in, lift the arms. Twist left and bring the arms down. Stay and breathe. Again, your head can just face your chest direction, or it can turn further, but you decide what feels right for your neck. I don't want you to feel stressed or strained. And unwind back to center. Breathe in, sweep your arms high. Breathe out, hands to knees. Keep your hands on your kneecaps and roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. So you're coming into a little back bend. You're lifting your chest up, you're squeezing your shoulders back, and then do the opposite. Press your spine back, round and drop your head. Arms are straight. Keep that going. Pulling on your kneecaps to roll the shoulders back and lift the chest, and pressing on the kneecaps to round the spine and drop your head. One more. Breathe in. Breathe out. And back to center. Bring your arms straight out in front of you and raise them all the way up by your ears. Nice and slow, as if you're moving through taffy. Bring your arms back down, all the way down by your sides. Again, move them forward, draw them all the way up. And back down, move slowly. One more time, forward and up. And back down. Now we're going to add the legs. So you're going to simply straighten your knees and push your feet out in front of you as you raise your arms. Pull your belly in to support your torso. So press out through the feet, lift the arms. You're in an L, a capital L, and release. Press out, lift up, pull your belly in. And release. One more. Take a breath. Now we're going to do that and hold for 3 long, slow breaths. Okay, so take a deep breath and then press out, lift up. So inhale, exhale 1. Inhale, exhale 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Release. Okay, relax. Sit back in your chair for a moment. Just relax. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths. Okay. Once again, sit a little away from the back of the chair. Bring your arms out in front of you. Open them out wide. And we're going to cross one over the other in an X. Cross as far as you can. So you're really stretching the upper back. And open. And cross the other arm on top. And open. You can keep going like that a few more times. Crossing and opening. Cross and open. One more. Cross and open. Other side. This is the last one for now. And open and relax. Okay, now scoot back a little. Hold your chair. Lift your legs. Open them up a little. We're going to do the same shape with the legs. Cross and open. Keep your belly pulled in to help you support your torso. Open and cross. Open. Cross. Open. One more each side. Cross and open and cross and open and relax. Sit back, take a breath. Okay, now we're going to combine arms and legs. So if that is not going to work for you, that's okay. You can choose to do either just the arms or just the legs. Okay, or you can alternate, do arms once and then do legs. It's up to you. I'm going to show arms and legs together. So in order to do this, you really have to engage your abdomen so that you don't fall all the way back in the chair. All right, so legs up, arms up, open both. Cross and open, cross and open. Keep it going. Try to do it slowly. Keep your belly pulling in. One more each side. Last one. Let it go. Relax. Sit back. Just breathe. Okay. Sit forward. Open your legs wide. So they're outside the chair legs. Knees are pointing out left and right, lined up with the middle toes. Okay? Hold your knees, sit tall. Try to find that neutral spine. Then lift your heels up as high as you can. Really lift up onto the balls of the feet. And lower. And lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. One more. Lift. And lower. Hands to your shoulders, to the tops of the shoulders. Sit tall. Tip over to the right. Come back up. Tip over to the left. And come back up. We're just going to keep moving like that, back and forth, working on strengthening the muscles of the side waist area, the obliques. Make sure you pause at the center before you go over to the other side. We don't want to use momentum. We want to just use the strength of the core muscles. One more. Okay, now we're going to twist side to side with the hands on the shoulders. So turn and come center, and turn and come center. Try just to turn from your torso. Try to keep your legs stable and not moving. So again, you are using the muscles of the core, of the trunk of your body to create the movement. You're strengthening the obliques, the transverse abdominis, all those muscles that sort of girdle your waist. And relax. Take a breath. Let it go. One more. Fingertips to shoulders. This time we're going to reach opposite arm to opposite knee. So curl down towards the opposite knee and lift back up. And curl and lift. So you're twisting, crunching, curling, again, working the waist, working the abdomen. You're also working the back. One more each side. Come back up, relax your hands down to your thighs. Bend your right elbow so you're placing your right forearm on top of your right thigh. Lean over. Take your left arm up and then maybe draw it over by your ear if you can. Make sure that you're not gripping your right shoulder to your right ear, but instead you're creating space, right? So push your forearm into your leg so that your shoulder moves away from your ear. Come on up, tip over to the left, same thing. Push into the forearm to create space between shoulder and ear, reaching the right arm up and overhead, over by your ear if you can. And come up. So you can do the same thing again, or you can come deeper. So forearm to thigh, top arm up, and if you like, you can slide that arm down the inside of the leg and push into your lower leg to create a deeper stretch. That's up to you. And come all the way up and over. Again, forearm to thigh or down the inseam of the leg. And come back up. Hands to knees, and then take a forward bend. So you can prop your forearms on your legs, on your thighs as you bow down, or you can reach your fingertips to the ground and bow down. Roll your way back up. Bring your legs back together. Cross your right ankle above your left knee. Sit tall. Think about getting heavy through the hip and the knee on the right side. And then wrap the right leg all the way over the left. Squeeze the shins together. So you're really pulling in on the inner thigh muscles. You're just squeezing everything to the midline here. And then unwind that. Left ankle to knee. Sit tall, heavy through the hip and knee. wrap the legs, left all the way over the right, squeeze the shins together. Everything is really collecting inward. So you're trying to draw all the energy, all the muscular force right into the midline. And unwind it, let it go. Extend your right leg with your heel on the ground, your toes pulling back towards your kneecap, and then bow down, hands on your thighs for support, bow down over the legs. So you're feeling maybe a stretch along the back of the right leg. You might be feeling it other places as well, perhaps all the way down your spine. You might feel it in the calf muscle, all kinds of places. Come back up, rebend the knee, extend the left leg. Heel on the ground, toes peeling back, bow down. And come back up, rebend the knee, sit back in your chair, sit tall, sweep your arms out and up, deep breath in. Hands together down at the center of the chest. Again, breathe in, sweep it up. Exhale, bring it down. One more, sweep it up. Bring it down. Relax your hands, relax your back, close your eyes. Notice your breath. Notice your heartbeat. Sit tall. Open your eyes, take your hands together in this prayer shape, Anjali Mudra. And just take a nice full breath in and let it go. Thank you so much. Happy Friday. Have a lovely weekend.
I have a